Hello, me lords and ladies, and welcome to another episode of Painting Some Rats, where I take you through multiple videos. I think this is number 9 now, of how to paint your Skaven with different colors. First off, I want to say thank you to all my YouTube members. You guys are absolutely amazing. I cannot thank you guys enough. You will get early access to this. I think this is Wednesday's video. I'm not sure. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Try and do at least 3 videos a week. Try. Pretty easy. Without further ado, let's go. All right, the first thing you're going to do, or what I did, is I obviously built the miniature. I put it on a base, and then I put some Stirland Mud down on the base, spray painted it in black, and then white from above, so you can see just a little bit of that black sticking through. Gives you what we call zenithal highlighting. So what we're doing first is taking some of that Fyreslayer Flesh, and we're painting it on all of our rat fur. Now, contrast paints are your best friend when you're trying to paint a million rats. I have 8 other videos on how to paint rats. This is just another way of doing it. And I don't know how many rats we have left, but I'm sure it is still quite a bit, because we also got the City of Ash that we need to work on as well. We're going to squeeze some of those in there, hopefully this weekend. All right, for the top portion of our Skaven gutter runner, or whatever this is, I don't know. I think it's a gutter runner. We're going to be doing some Magmadroth Flame. So we're being a little careful on this, using a bigger brush, but we are getting this on there. So yeah, pretty easy. For the bottom portion of our Skaven, we're doing some Stormfiend. You'll probably notice in the beginning that I did not get a lot of paint on the brush, so I had to load it up just a little bit more and then slap it on there and then move it around. Take your time with contrast paints. I think the quicker you go, just like any paint, the worse it looks. So put it on there, swish it around. We're avoiding, obviously, some areas on this bottom portion. Don't want to get the belt, we don't want to get the tail, and we don't want to get that piece of metal armor that is sticking out on the top of the backside. So just be cognizant of that. For our shield, we're going to be doing some Wyldwood, and I would suggest putting a little bit of Lamia medium in that Wyldwood on a wet palette. It makes it more opaque, and it looks more woodish to me. Wyldwood straight out of the pot, just, man, it's real thick, so I don't know. Not a big fan of it straight out of the pot. For that tail, we're just going to use some basic Volupus Pink. Just be a little careful, but it shouldn't show up on that blue, because that blue is pretty dark on that Stormfiend. So you shouldn't have to worry about it a lot. For the next color, we're going to be using some Cygor Brown. And the one thing with Cygor Brown, it's kind of like Wyldwood, is it's super thick out of the pot. So you can take it straight out of the pot, or you can mix it with a little bit of Lamium medium or contrast medium. Or if you're in a real pinch, put some water in it just to loosen it up a little bit on a wet palette, and you can paint all of that. So I'm doing the belt. I'm also doing the shield portion where our rat is holding it, and then I think that's about it. Yeah. All right, only 2 more paints we're going to use. The first one being Skeleton Horde on our rat teeth. Obviously, I got too much brown on the feet, but it's no big deal. We'll paint over that here in a little bit. The little toesy nails as well. And then the last base color that we're using is Iron Warriors. And we're using this on the sword itself, the chainmail, the armor that is on the back, and then the 2 pieces of metal on the interior of the shield that our rat is holding on to. And then we'll be moving on to the wash phase. All right, 3 washes that we are doing. First one's Nulin Oil on all of our metallics. We're not doing anything groundbreaking here. We're not defying the laws of physics by doing anything special here. Real basic. Again, nothing crazy. For the orange, we're going to put some Fuegan Orange in there. I think that's how you say it. Just obviously be careful about the rat skin and blue and then metallics. Just be careful. Take your time. And then lastly, that we'll see here in a second, we'll be using some Drakenhof Nightshade on all of our blue robes as well. Let that dry, and we will be moving on to the highlight step. So just like any good Skaven army, you're going to have a ton of these miniatures to paint. So we're not going to go crazy on the highlights. And frankly, if you wanted to keep it as is before doing any highlights, probably could keep it right there. It looks fine just the way it is. But for this specific rat, we are going to be doing some highlights. We're going to be doing some Besttigor Flesh, highlighting up all of our raised areas on the flesh. You don't really want to overdo this. Pick out some spots, paint over it. Don't go crazy on it. Less is more when you're painting a vast army like this. We don't have tons of time. And if you do, well, bless your little heart, because I wish I was in your position to have more time. But that's all we're doing for the skin. All right, for the tail, we're going to be doing some pink horror. You can also do this on the nose as well. Or you can do a black on the nose. It's up to you. But for the... And the tongue. I forgot the tongue. As you saw, I just painted it. And I did the nose as well, so it's up to you. But for the tail specifically, you don't want to get anything in the recesses. You just want to get the rungs on the outside of the recesses. Keep those recesses dark, and it will look phenomenal once you are done. All right. For the orange, we're going to be doing some Fire Dragon Bright. And all we're doing is a little bit of edge highlighting. Again, this is optional if you want to go this far with your miniatures, because obviously this is going to take a little bit more time. And there are 2 miniatures for this specific model, so it doubles your amount of time. I'm also doing this a little bit on the raised areas and just kind of picking pieces out, making them stick out. Now, I do think it does look a lot better when you do this, but again, it is time that you're consuming on this. So food for thought. All right, for the blue, we're doing the kind of the same thing, just picking out some of the raised areas, doing a little bit of edge highlighting. Again, this is optional. If you don't want to do it, I would totally understand, and I would not bash you at all for skipping this. Light blue that you can use. This is the, I don't even know how to pronounce this. Alaitoc Blue, something like that. I don't know. Whatever. I just looked at it on the stand. I've used this color before, obviously, and I like how it works with Stormfiend. So again, it does add a lot of depth, but it isn't necessary. All right, for our teeth and for the nails and the toenails or the claws, if you want to call them that, we're going to be using some Screaming Skull. Now, when you put the Screaming Skull over the toenail claws, it should look just fine. Shouldn't be overly crazy on top of that brown. So, as you'll see right here, it turns out just fine with that dark background. All right, winding down here, we have just some Leadbelcher. So we're just going to put it on the blade of our sword, the interior of the shield, and we're going to scrape that chainmail armor that's hanging out the sides. Again, we're not going to try and overdo it. You don't want everything to be super shiny. They are Skaven, so they're not like high society of polished brass and metals. They're Skaven. So, again, less is more. All right, for the eyes, I put a little dot of white in there, and then I just put a little dot of Baal Red. When that Baal Red dries, that white sticks through just a little bit and adds some depth. Very simple. Base. If you don't care about doing the base, obviously you don't need to watch the rest of this video, but this is how I'm doing mine. Real basic. Aggaros Dunes. You can put a dry brush on there if you would like, and then the rim of the base, because it's your favorite part of painting the miniature, because it means you're done. I'm doing ours in Abaddon Black, but I know this is fantasy. A lot of people like to use Steel Legion Drab for the exterior. And that's it. That's all she wrote. Turned out actually really good. That blue and orange really worked for me. I really liked it. And the highlights that we did on the pieces of cloth really made it look good. So I was happy the way it turned out. I'm hoping that if you painted it this way, it turned out just as good and you are just as satisfied as I was. So, again, I want to say thank you to all my YouTube members. You guys are absolutely amazing. Can't thank you guys enough. Anybody who watches this, subscribes, shares it, sends it to a friend, you guys are awesome. We have a ton of Warhammer coming up. We still got to finish Chronicles of Drunagar in the next 9 years. And Trespass Odyssey, finishing up Elden Ring. We've got some stuff. So yeah, I love you all, and I will see you on the next one. All right, paints on.